What's up, everybody? One Fun Guy podcast in the studio, getting ready to do my podcast in about 45 minutes. I'm going to hook up with the history buff and we're going to be live. So I'll be over on Facebook, streaming live, and then I'll be on YouTube, and then I'll post the video to YouTube when I'm all done. So hopefully you guys will tune in tonight. If not, I understand. If you can't catch the live, I'll be over on YouTube. I'm One Fun Guy podcast over on YouTube. You can catch it on the replay. But I got the history buff coming up tonight, so I just wanted to come up live here and say what's up before I do my live podcast. DH, what's up? Just hanging out tonight, guys. History Buff's going to be my guest. He's going to return. We'll talk Unleash the Archers. We'll talk some music. We'll talk some mental health issues, some stuff that he's got going on. I'll let you know what's happening with him, the recap of how he's feeling after his panic attack, how he's dealing with it, what's going on with him. So, it'll be a good time tonight, guys. So my podcast will be on Facebook and then again on YouTube, One Fun Guy podcast. So catch me over there. I will be around pretty much all evening. I'll be off of here at about 6:45, and then I'm going to hook up with him, do my podcast, and then as soon as I'm done, I'll hop right back on here and come back live with you guys and hang out for a little bit tonight. So it'll be a fun night. Lots of cool stuff happening. So hopefully you guys will be tuning into that. If you do, that'll be awesome. If not, catch me on the replay. One Fun Guy podcast over on YouTube. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. I would greatly appreciate that. Like I said, History Buff is coming up tonight. Then next Tuesday, I'm going to be a guest on Roberta's podcast. And then Thursday night, I'll have Justice on. So it'll be a pretty busy weekend, but exciting and fun as well. So I'm super happy that you guys are hanging out with me, and all you guys are here. If you like me, follow me, guys. Share my show. Do the thing. Help me out. I'm just a blue collar guy trying to make it in this world, right? So my podcast is something I'm super passionate about. I love talking to people. I love interviewing people, and that's kind of my jam. So if you guys could do that for me, I would appreciate it. Follows and shares are awesome. Comments on my post are great. Subscribing to my YouTube channel would be even more fantastic. So I am good to go with that. So tonight's going to be a fun night, guys. I'm just kind of, hanging out and doing my thing. And, I'm trying to hit 5K on here, guys. So if you like what you see, follow me. I'll follow you back. I don't do the FYP stuff or the FYB stuff, but I mean, if you follow me, I'll follow you. It's as simple as that. If you send me a message, you want to know anything about me, let me know, and we'll go from there. So please and thank you. What's up? So I have my podcast coming up tonight, guys. History Buff will be on. That'll be about an hour long, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to do some simple editing. And then while it's uploading, I'll hop right back on here like I normally do and hang out with you guys on TikTok tonight. So it'll be a fun night, guys. Podcast and then hang out. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm getting all my stuff prepped for my podcast, getting all my stuff ready to go. And so that's pretty much it, guys. I'm in the studio already. History Buff is kind of on standby right now. I'm going to send them the link at about 6:45. So at 7 o'clock, we'll hit the live button. We'll be ready to go. Like I said, we're gonna talk some mental health stuff. We're gonna talk some music. We're gonna talk some podcasting. We're gonna talk about networking. So it's gonna be a really cool show. I'm super excited. He's a great dude. I love having him on, and we'll go from there. So Luke, what's up? If you guys are on, like I said, guys, hit the follow button. I'll follow you back. If you like what you see, drop me some messages, drop me some likes. And really help support the podcast, guys. That's what it's all about. I use TikTok as a networking platform to get people over to my YouTube channel, and hopefully it's working. It's worked so far. That's my game plan. So if you like what you see here, guys, I'm One Fun Guy podcast over on YouTube. My link is in the bio. If you could head over there and drop me a subscribe, that would be awesome. Help support me that way, because obviously one day I would love to monetize my channel via YouTube. So that's what I'm doing, and there's no secret about that. Like I said, I try to play the TikTok game as much as I can. Millionaire Mom, what's going on? So Millionaire Mama, are you really a millionaire? Because if you are, that's awesome. I hope you are. Cheesy chips and gravy, what's up? That sounds delicious, honestly. So if you guys are on, guys, follow me. I'll follow you back. Drop me a comment. Say hi. Kind of just, do your thing. If you want to, we'll do that. And you know, well, oops, sorry, I was just gonna say hi, but apparently it's wanting me to get you on. So either way, Miss March Munchkins, what's going on? So if you guys are on, guys, say hey. Don't be afraid. It's my podcast is all about positivity, guys, making an impact in the world. Like I said, it's about empowering, educating, and entertaining, and that's kind of what I want to do. In no particular order. Hopefully, I'm entertaining enough. You guys find me. Smokey Toki, what's up? Hopefully, you guys find me entertaining. If I can empower or educate somebody, that's awesome. I try to do all three, guys. That's what my podcast is all about. It's uplifting. It's positive. There's no negativity in it. We might talk about some stuff that's a little bit, on the stuff. But Vampira, what's up? So if you guys are on, guys, hit me a follow. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. Hopefully you guys like what you see. If you guys want to be a guest on my podcast, please say hi. Thank you so much, Vampira. That's awesome of you. I really appreciate that. If you guys want to be a guest on my podcast, though, shoot me a message, or if you know somebody who you think might make a good guest, let me know. I'd love to have you guys on my show. I have a list of people, and I'm just trying to fill in dates. I'm going on 5 months already of podcasting. I've had I think 15 episodes. I've dropped a ton of videos. I have a ton more coming, so I am super happy about the way that's going. So I couldn't be more ecstatic about the podcast. I like doing it. I like talking to people. Like I said, I try to stay positive, guys. Spread a positive message into the world. Just to try to get a little bit of stigma off topic of certain things into the world, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So with that being said, guys, I'm just hanging out before my podcast. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Vampire. You're awesome. I followed you, by the way, so I'll send you a message after this, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean it. It's awesome. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. It's unbelievable what the community is like on here. So I am really, 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 happy that everything's happened the way that it has. And I've met some really cool people. I've been able to network. I've been able to do a lot of cool stuff. So, thank the TikTok community. Thank you guys. Thank all my subscribers on YouTube, all my followers on Facebook, all my followers here and on Instagram. It's awesome. So I can't do it without you guys, right? The community only grows from the bottom up. So, you guys are my OGs. I always say that, right? Hopefully one day I get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and, I got all these different people watching me, but I'll go back to these first videos, guys, in my first couple months, and I'll remember everybody who was here supporting my channel before it was popular. Like, you guys are the old school guys, right? You're the OGs. You were here when I was nothing, and hopefully I can become somebody in this world through my podcast, right? Like, get myself out there and, have subscribers and people follow me and share my stuff, and, hopefully, I can make, a couple of bucks doing it. So that's my goal. So there's no secret. That's, YouTube is where I want to be. That's where I want my community to be. But I love TikTok. I love networking. I love the aspect of TikTok. It's fantastic. Meeting new people and coming across awesome people has been great. And I'll never forget, like I said, my OGs, the peeps that started from the beginning. So this is it, guys. I've been podcasting since January, so I'm new, but I'm not that new. But I feel it's going well, and I think it's going to keep growing, and I think I'm going to have, a positive impact on the podcasting community, and that's my goal, is to, every episode is to give you guys the best show that I could bring you guys. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. Just, be the best person I could be and give you guys the best show I possibly can. So that's what I do all the time, and this is, my routine, guys. I always go on TikTok before my podcast. Sylvia, what's up? I always go live after my podcast while it's uploading. I'll be on here for about another 20 minutes, and then I'll take a little break, get ready for the history buff. He'll be on at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll be on for about an hour 10, and then as soon as my video's done, I'll upload it to YouTube, and while it's uploading, I'll be right back here on TikTok hanging out with you guys. See what we can get into tonight, what topics we'll come across, what we could discuss, what we can do, what we can go from there. So, in that stage of the game, guys, I appreciate all the love and support. I really do. It's awesome. You guys are great. So yeah, I'm just hanging out for a little bit, guys, before my podcast, getting ready for the history buff, and we'll go from there. What's up, Sylvia? So this is it, guys. We're just kind of hanging out, and Chantel's what's up? Chantel, I don't know if you tried to. Somebody just tried to get on. I don't know who it was. It popped up real quick and not. If you are trying to get on, guys, I apologize. I'm not going to take any guests right now or any battles. I'm just kind of hanging out before my podcast. I only have about 20 more minutes left, so I'm just going to talk to my peeps and go from there. Maybe I'll do some battles later tonight. Maybe I'll see what I can get into if there's any groups. I know not last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, I hopped in a box with like 9 other people. It was pretty awesome. We were just kind of talking, music and life and stuff like that. So I have no problem doing that, but I don't want to do that now. So I just kind of want to hang out, talk to my friends on here, kind of give a rundown of my podcast tonight, what's going on. And then once, like I said, in about maybe 15 minutes now, I'll hop off. It'll be right around 6:40, and then I'll get ready for a history buff. We'll be on live on Facebook, and then we'll be posting that to YouTube when we're done. So that'll be it. That's my plan for tonight. And then while my video's editing and uploading to YouTube on my laptop, I will hop back on with you guys, and we'll hang out and we'll chat. We'll talk about wrestling, music, movies, sports, whatever you guys want to talk about. Oh, that's all right. Super slow is not necessarily a bad thing, I'll be here, so no big deal. Excuse me, guys. So my sinus infection finally breaking after 2 months of this. It's finally, everything's coming out, so I'm happy. Being sick is no fun. But yeah, so other than that, guys, it'll just be a fun night. We'll be hanging out here for a little bit. Like I said, a couple more minutes, and then I'll get ready for the history buff. And then as soon as we're done with our podcast, it'll be up on YouTube while it's uploading. I'll be right back on here, and then like I said, I'll see. Maybe I'll toy around tonight, right? D, what's up? So maybe I'll hang out tonight, guys, right? I don't know about the group thing. I don't know if it'll be the same people that I was with before. If it is, that'll be awesome. If not, no big deal. It'll just be kind of a podcast and upload, and then go from there. So we'll see what's happening. I have no expectations or anything like that, but it's just fun to get in the groups, guys, right? Because it's just cool to see where other people are in their lives, right, and what they got going on and where they're at. I know one guy was at work. He was driving a truck, and he was kind of taking a little break. They have to take a certain amount of hours in between drives, and he was on his break, and he hopped in, and he's like, yeah, I forgot where he was at, South Carolina, or no, he was in Kentucky going to South Carolina. So that was kind of the way that it was. It was just cool, right? Just to see, what the life of a trucker. He hopped on the live and was just kind of, saying that he's in between. I was on with, who was I on with? I was on with him, John, and somebody else. I can't remember. Humberto, what's up? So it was cool just to see, what people got going on and what they're doing in their lives. It's always interesting, right? To see what walks of life people are at, and, who's where and who's who in society, right? Just to kind of see, right? Like, I have Jay Uso. Yeah. So that's a cool thing, right? They brought Eric Rowan back, Redbeard. He was doing the wrestling thing with EC3, which was the Control Your Narrative, the CYN. So EC3 now is in NWA, so I don't know if he's doing that anymore. He had his own promotion for a little bit. The CYN was really cool because that's where Braun Strowman went. That's where Redbeard went. He had a couple big stars, part of his thing. EC3 was doing his own promotion. I don't know what he's got going on now, but they're bringing back the cast, right? So Bo Dallas is going to have to really kind of be level-headed about this, right? It's so easy to get excited about, bringing back, the family and doing it that way. Obviously, Bo Dallas is a great star, right? His dad was a wrestler. His uncles were wrestlers. They're all in the wrestling business. However, it's gonna be hard to replace Bray, right? So Bo Dallas is not Bray. So we have to understand that, right? Like the Uncle Howdy character was awesome. But Bray was the guy, right? So Wyndham was that character. And I'm not saying he's any better than his brother. I'm not saying that in the wrestling community, but when you have a guy that has that kind of mind for the wrestling business and that kind of mind for the overall cast of people that he put together, and the segments he was able to do and create, they really have to be careful what they do. So yeah, right. They have to be careful with it. They have to build up Bo's character, right? You had Bray Wyatt, who was in contention for the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, and the World Heavyweight Championship. Bo Dallas was not Bray Wyatt, right? So I'm not taking anything away from his character and what he did. But if they're going to put the Wyatt family on his shoulders, they have to build him up. They have to have him win matches. They have to show that he's capable of carrying that. We obviously know Braun Strowman can do it, right? Braun Strowman's been a U.S. champion. He's been a world champion. He's had the spectrum. Redbeard is great, right? You can't take anything away from Eric. He's a good dude. He's strong. He's big. But he's a one-dimensional character. He's just a big, broad dude, right? So you understand where his character is at. You understand where Braun is at. You have to look at the family as a whole, right? So now, what they can do is if they were to bring the caricature of the Fiend back, right? If you were to introduce it via the Jumbotron and you were able to incorporate it in some capacity into what they're doing, I think that's a win, because then it kind of recollects all the hard work of what they've done and all the dimensional things that they have had. Now, another one, right, is what are they going to do with Alexa Bliss? Are they going to have Alexa be a part of this? Are they going to have are they going to bring back the Firefly character? Are they going to bring back, it as kind of like how they did with like the Ultimate Warrior? I'm not saying that is what they're going to do, right? But when you had the Ultimate Warrior in his, prime, they would always bring back the face paint, right? And the masks and the things like that. So I'm not saying they're going to do that, right? I don't know what they're going to do. I hope that they don't mess this up, right? It would be nice. And I'm not saying they're going to, but it would also be nice if they kind of mentioned Luke Harper, right? Like if they kind of put those guys in a kind of unique presence of them still being remembered, right? So if they do that, you have Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper that are passed away and gone, but you can still remember their presence. So I don't know how they're going to incorporate it, right? Like I would hope that they would like to maneuver on into new characters, but I think it would be cool if they remember the old ones. So, yeah, on their gear, in the background, maybe a, and I'm not teasing bringing the character back. Like, that's not what I'm saying, right? But Bray Wyatt was the Fiend. That character is gone. But if they can incorporate the legacy somehow into it, it would be just kind of cool to see. Kind of how they did with the Road Warriors, right? When Hawk was having all his problems, they brought Droz into the mix, right? They had Animal, the Road Warrior 2000s, the Legion of Doom. They had Sonny as their manager. You know, they can incorporate things into what they're doing. I don't know if they will or not. I don't know what's in the minds of the WWE writers, producers, you know, the executives, what Triple H has got, you know, what his idea is. You know, you had a generational talent in Bray Wyatt, and we all know that, right? So we all understand that, you know, again, Bo Dallas is great, right? They were great together. They were there, right? But you have to remember the whole Rotunda family, right? So, you know, everybody in the Wyndham family, right? Their uncle Barry Windham, you know, and Mike Rotunda and all those guys, right? So you have to do the family justice, but you also have to do the wrestling business justice. And it's gonna be cool to see how they do it and how they incorporate it. You know, I think it's gonna be something that's just gonna be a little bit more of a money grab, I hope. Obviously, because once they do it and they bring back the Fireflies and they bring it back, obviously you're going to have Bray Wyatt's merchandise now is going to go through the roof. All the Fiend stuff is going to go through the roof. The masks are going to sell out again. Like, so I just hope it's not WWE's cash grab, right? To just do it, sell a bunch of merchandise, and then move on, right? I hope that's not what they do. I don't know. They've dropped the ball before. I'm hoping they don't do it again. I really hope that they do it right. But again, I don't know, right? We all are, right? Like we're all hoping Hunter comes through, right? You have Hunter's mind. You have the writers now are Hollywood writers, sitcom writers, TV writers. You have Shawn Michaels is still in the mix, right? He's a great wrestling mind. Him and Triple H are friends. They bounce ideas off of each other. You know, I don't know. They released Jerry Lawler, so I don't know if they're going to incorporate, you know, anything else into that. You know, they obviously hit a grand slam with Pat McAfee, right? He's got obviously one of the hottest shows on television, one of the best podcasts going. And they brought him in as an announcer, and he does well. So, I mean, I don't know. They can really kind of move everything into the right direction. I hope they do it justice, right? That's what we all do, right? We're all hoping that they don't drop the ball on this. But you also have now, you know, the interesting thing is the bloodline, right? Now, so that's another one. You have, you know, all the guys in New Japan, right? So you have Tama came over now, so he's here. The GOD guys are still over in New Japan, right? So what's his name? Tama's brother, Tonga Loa, and Hikuleo are still in New Japan. Now, are they going to incorporate them into the WWE? I don't know, right? Hikuleo's awesome. He's a big dude. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, just Google New Japan Hikuleo. I think he's 6'7" or 6'8". And he looks like a big Jey Uso. Honestly, they look a lot alike. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga were GOD. So if you guys are know the Bullet Club, they were the OG Bullet Club guys. When Finn Balor started, it was GOD, which was Tonga Tama and Tonga Loa, the Finn Balor, and what's his name? Kenta, Go to Sleep, and Kenny Omega. So in the old school wrestling world, you still have 3 of the family members are in New Japan still. They brought Tonga over, which is awesome. GOD was awesome. You know, and you knew that was coming, right? When Jay White kicked him out of the Bullet Club, and everyone was kind of like, oh my God, how did they do that? Like, they knew this was coming, right? I'm sure they've been in talks with the WWE for a couple years now, right? Like, it's not just something that happens overnight, right? I'm sure WWE put it in their head, hey, when your contract comes up, come over to the Bloodline. This is what we got going on. I'm sure that's what they had planned all along, right? And I think Hikuleo is going to be next. He's not in the Bullet Club anymore. He is GOD now, the new GOD, Gorillas of Destiny with El Phantasmo. So, you know, that's awesome that they're carrying on the GOD name, but I don't think that's going to happen much longer, right? I don't think the Bullet Club In New Japan is moving in that direction. They have Finley now, who's the leader, and they got the War Dogs, and that's awesome, right? So the new Bullet Club with the War Dogs is completely moved away from the old school Bullet Club, which was the Jay White Bullet Club, which had been taken over from when Cody was running it, right? So you had all these Bullet Club leaders from Finn to Kenny Omega to what's his name, Adam Cole, all these guys that were the leaders of the Bullet Club up until now, with Jay White starting Bullet Club Gold in AEW, and now you have Finley, Dave Finley, who was Fit Finley's kid, who's also now second generation, is awesome. They were at the New Japan show that I went to, and they are doing a good job. I was like, man, it's really going to be hard to take over Jay White as the leader of the Bullet Club, right? Like, Jay White Switchblade was awesome. If you don't watch New Japan, you should. But Jay White was really, really incredible as far as what he was able to do with the Bullet Club. And now when he left, it was kind of like, oh, the Bullet Club's just going to sink, and nobody kind of knew who Dave Finley was. And, he just kind of was, not, I don't want to say breaking into the business, but like he was, he wasn't very good on the microphone. Jay White was great, cutting promos. And the Bullet Club, if you guys have followed them for a while, right? The Bullet Club has always been the kind of like thorn in the side of professional wrestling, right? From the Bucks to Hangman Page to Adam Cole to Kenny Omega. They've always bashed the other federations, and they've done it very intriguingly, right? And it's awesome to watch. When the Bullet Club puts out something on Facebook, or they put something out on Twitter, or they put something out, it's funny because they stab at the other promotions, right? They've been going after the WWE for years, and that's no secret. So the Bullet Club in New Japan is one of those kind of things that like transcends wrestling, because they'll show up at Impact, they'll show up on TNA, they'll show up in New Japan, they'll show up in AEW. Like, they're an anomaly of wrestlers that are still around and doing it, right? You have Chris Bay, and he's still on Impact and on TNA, right? So Chris Bay is still part of the Bullet Club. He wears the Bullet Club stuff. These guys don't ever really kind of forget that, but it's just kind of cool to see what's happening now in wrestling. So with the family, it's going to be unique how they deal with, going back to what I was saying about the bloodline, is what they're going to do and who they're going to bring in as characters. Obviously, The Rock is going to have to go back to acting at some point, so he's limited as to what he can do. Roman's making a movie now, which is why they're they took the belt away from him, and you kind of knew that was happening. Everyone was kind of hoping he would keep it, but it's hard to keep a belt on a guy who's not going to wrestle for the next 5 months, right? He's making a movie, so he's not, he's doing what The Rock did and, what Cena did, and it's hard to keep the belts on those guys when they move on to other things. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, right? That wrestling was their livelihood, but if you're talented enough and able-bodied enough to move into the acting world, and you can make a lot more money and not get hurt, it's a no-brainer. They're going to do it. And so I'm not knocking Roman. He was a great champion, but he's moving on to movies now. He's going to be a movie star. So, and I'm sure at some point they're going to, team up him and The Rock and Jason Momoa. I'm sure they got something in the works for those guys, being, the island guys. And so, I'm sure that, they're going to move him into bigger and better things, right? And I'm kind of excited for Roman to see what happens, right? He'll be an action star. Hopefully his movie's great, and then he, fills in with The Rock and Cena, how they make movies, and so Roman did what he could for the company for as long as he could do it, but it's hard to keep a belt on somebody who's not going to be there. If a guy is going to be gone for months at a time making movies and doing commercials and spots and interviews, and it's everything that comes along with the Hollywood lifestyle, right, guys? It's just not make a movie and come back to wrestling. It's being on morning talk shows, being on promotional runs, being on tours, going to red carpets, going to screenings, going to openings, doing all these interviews, right? So he has to do all that, and the WWE understands that, so they obviously had to let him go for that reason. And I'm not saying it's not right or wrong. It's the way that it is. It's just the reality of the business, and the WWE is going to capitalize on it, right? Just like they did The Rock, and just like they did Cena and Stone Cold and everybody else, Hogan, everybody else who made movies. The WWE puts their nose in the mix and says, hey, those were our guys. they don't forget where you came from. So they'll drop spots, and Roman will mention the WWE every time he gets, just like The Rock did when he first started making movies, when he made The Scorpion King. Every morning talk show he was on, they talked about his wrestling, and he always, gave kudos to the WWE. So Roman will do the same thing, and, they'll make more money. They'll sell more merchandise. The bloodline's established, and now he gets to come back whenever he wants. So, Roman's got the golden ticket now. So, good for him. And that's what it's all about, right? Being the best person you could be, living the best life you can. Roman did what he could for the business for 20 years and was awesome. And, now he's moving on just like The Rock did. Like I said, just like Stone Cold did, just like Cena did, and a lot of other guys, right? The Miz. I mean, you look at, he came from a reality show. He came into wrestling. Now he's got his own hit reality show. I mean, that's awesome, right? Like, you'll make more money doing TV stuff. And, the Miz doesn't get the credit he deserves. It's one of those things where, he kind of built himself up and used the wrestling business to, establish himself as a star. And now he's got his own, reality show, and he's doing awesome. So, that's what it's about, Utilize the attributes you have. He's a funny guy. He's very well spoken. Obviously, he cuts great promos. He could act. He's funny. He's enjoyable to watch. And why not? That's so. Yeah, I just hope like I said, the WWE doesn't drop the ball, and I don't think they will. I think they'll get this one right. And especially now that Vince is out of the picture, and kind of Shane's out of the picture, and it appears to be Stephanie's kind of out of the picture. So, excuse me, guys. So I think Triple H will get this one right. I really do. I think Hunter will be he'll give the respect that it deserves, and he'll be a part of something that's very important to the WWE universe and the fans. Right, that's the biggest thing. Right, the fans are the ones that want it the most. Right, if you were a fan of, the Wyatt character like I was, I mean, the Fiend was awesome. When him and Finn Balor were doing the Fiend and the Demon, like those were great matches, right? And for a bigger guy, how athletic he was, and how he was able to move, and the promos he cut, and just the character he developed was awesome, right? And that's a once in a lifetime opportunity to have somebody come on the scene and make an impact like he did. And and it was kind of cool because they kind of used the horror movie background of it, but I mean, like, how long did Bray Wyatt go without saying a word, right? They would just come out, the lights would go, he'd have the fireflies, the lanterns. He never cut promos. He would just stand in the ring. It was awesome, right? He did a fantastic job with that character. He really made it work. So, and again, it's sad to see, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, not here anymore. But can you imagine what he would have done in Hollywood, and like what he could have, like, man, what an awesome talent. And I never met him. I followed him a lot, and it's really kind of crazy to think that, like, you always wonder about the what ifs. But I mean, like, obviously it's one of those things where you can't control the destiny of the universe, right? It was his time to go. That it's just, it was sad that he was so young. I think he was 35 or 36 years old. Like, that's way young, right? But you kind of look at, where he was going, right? That's the hard thing. You look at what could have been now and next year and the year after, like, man, it's just sad because, like, he could have been the next mega superstar, right? So, he could have been the guy in the wrestling business that, was the one that carried the WWE moving forward. His character was awesome. Bray Wyatt was awesome. The Fiend was a great character. And look at what he did for everybody else, right? Noah, what's up? Overthink Queen, what's up? So look at what he did for everybody else, right? In the wrestling universe, right? He got Braun Strowman to where he's at. And I'm not taking anything away from Braun. Braun's a super big dude, powerful, funny. He's kind of like the Andre the Giant, and the Paul Whites of the universe, right? Just a big dude with a great personality and a funny guy, right? Luke Harper the same way, So look at what he did for those guys in their careers, right? So I mean, awesome. It's just a shame, right? Because now, you hope that Bo Dallas is, in shape enough to, get the ring rust off and get back into things. And, same with Redbeard and Braun, and, that they really do right by Shrimp Daddy, what's up? That they just really do right by the characters that they created, and, give, remembrance and pay homage to Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. So with that being said, guys, I am going to hop off here. I'm going to get ready to go live and do my podcast with the history buff. I should be back on here about 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, maybe a little bit after. So we will be good for everything. So with that being said, guys, we will go from there, and I will see you guys tonight after my podcast. Check me out on Facebook, guys. I'll be live on Facebook and on YouTube, and then my podcast will be up on YouTube. So just let me know what you guys want to talk about afterwards. Have some subject matters when I hop back on later. Maybe we'll pick up the wrestling thing. Maybe we'll talk music. Maybe we'll talk movies. Whatever you guys want. But thanks for hopping in, guys. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms. Just please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me here. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a friend request on Facebook. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms, guys. I will see you in about 15 minutes on my podcast live, and then I'll hop back on here, guys, at probably about 8:30, and we'll go live again. So see ya. Thanks for watching in. Thanks for tuning in on One Fun Guy Podcast. I'll see you live in about 15 minutes.